Hello, dividend executives. Welcome back. It is Monday. The stock market is open. I tell you what, we finally got some shares. After multiple months of selling cash secured puts, we finally are jumping to the other side of the wheel. And when I say the wheel, we sell the cash secured put, we get paid to buy the asset for a cheaper price, then we get assigned the asset, we sell the covered call, we get back to cash, and then we repeat the cycle. And now we are into the next stage of the cycle. And I took three different stocks worth of assignments on Friday. We had a massive sell-off. I think they said it was the biggest sell-off that we've seen so far in 2025. So with that came some new assignments, and it comes with extra volatility in the market. So now we have some new tenants, we have some new properties, and we are collecting rent on our shares. I already sold some calls this morning. I'm going to sell some calls here live, and we're going to keep it rocking and rolling. You can see here buying power is only at 56 now. We spent about $13,050 in buying stocks on Friday, and I want to go over that. So for the week, we're down about $1,100, and that's just part of the fluctuation in the market now that we are assigned. For the month, down 6%. 3 months still up 6%, 1 year up to 66%, and all time about 2 years ago we're up about 81%. So we had a massive pullback, right? The account was sitting just over $13,000. Huge pullback. We'll go over that, and we have some stuff to go over and some moves to make. So first things first, in the IRA, what the heck happened over the last week? Well, you can see we sold some puts last week, which is crazy to think. We sold super low delta, super safe puts. You can see on MSTU and Mara, we only got paid $5 to enter those stocks. I could have rolled it, but I wanted to showcase the other side, right? You guys know I created this account to show how to trade a small account, how to wheel stocks, how to sell calls, how to sell puts, and we've been selling puts, and that's been great. It's been slow and up and to the right, but now we got to show the other side, and so I decided to take assignment instead of rolling on all of these in an effort to do that, right? The whole point of this channel is to showcase how to trade different styles of options, and so now we're going to be selling calls. So that being said, we took assignment of 100 shares of MSTU at 7.5. We took assignment of 100 shares of Amara at 15. And Mara has earnings this week. And then we took assignment of 300 shares of MSTX at 36. It closed at 33.71 on Friday, and that cost us about $10,800. So what did I do this morning? Well, first things first, when you have a massive dip, I came in and I bought 5 shares of MSTX to start building my odd lot, right? And we paid $30.75 for that. Then I instantly went out and I sold MSTX call at the 36 strike, which is what we were assigned at. And I got paid $195 to do that. I took that $195 and I bought myself another 5 shares of odd lot at $32.17. You may ask, what the heck is an odd lot, or why do I have an odd lot, right? Well, first things first, odd lots are just shares on top of the shares you own, right? So you can see here now we have 310 shares of MSTX. The reason why I do that is it allows us to lower our cost, and it also gives us some shares that are free and clear to run if for some reason this stock went parabolic or had a nice rally back. Then we have some shares that are in above our cost basis that are having some nice appreciation that we can sell off later. Also, I like to take my premium from my tenants, and I like to continue to buy more assets with it, especially if I can average down on cost. And so that is why I have 10 extra shares of MSTX now. So that being said, you can see we're down, right? So we're down about $1,000 on MSTX, but in the grand scheme of things, look at the total. Let's look at the, so we're down about what, 10% today on MSTX, and the percentage change, about 3.54% for the day. Mara down about 2.73. MSTU down about 3.92. So it's been a bad week. If you look at MSTX over the last week, it's down 21%, right? And for the month, down 32%. So this one is absolutely getting hammered. What's the 3 months? Yeah, 3 months down 76%. So high risk. You guys have known it, but I've been paid several $1,000 in premium in order to buy these shares. So if you were to factor that into my cost basis, I'm probably down in the low 20s, right? But time to collect rent, right? So we collected $195 on the call this morning. You can see that here. It's down 45, which means I could have collected even more, and that's because MSDX has bounced back a little bit. So we got paid $195 there. Now it's time to sell some calls on Mara, right? So I can show that process. We have earnings. You can see that here. Earnings is coming up. Average cost of 15. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to trade options. And of course, I'm going to take advantage of that. So I'm going to sell this a little bit above my cost basis. Unlike the MSTX, this is less capital and we have earnings. So I want to give myself the opportunity to potentially grab an extra $50 on the appreciation up, right? So we're going to sell the call there. It might not fill. Let's see if it fills in the video. If not, we'll just come back and change that. But if they were called away at the 15.5, that gives me the $50 of appreciation on the share side, and then also the call premium on top of that, which is the $26 or $27 depending on what we collect there. So it could be a $75 trade for the week on that. Next one, MSTU, right? We're gonna come in here. We're gonna do the exact same thing, but we're gonna trade this at the cost basis. We got assigned to the 7.5. I'm okay letting it go at the 7.5. These are in $5 increments. $15. It doesn't sound like a lot, but you got to remember it's only $750 worth of capital. So we're going to collect the $15 there. That brings us up to $210 worth of rent collected today from our tenants. And this one's probably not going to fill. I'm not too worried about a penny. So let me just come in here and let me just see if I can get it for the 26. Whether it's a dollar here, dollar there, I'm not too worried about it. We weren't getting the fill at the 27, so we'll get the fill at the 26. So that adds to the total. That brings us over $225 worth of income collected today and income collected for the week. And so we have some buying power of $97.32. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to buy a little bit more of this, right? I'm going to buy 2 more shares. The reason why I'm doing that is I'm building my odd lot. I'm lowering my cost basis and I'm building the amount of, let's see if that adds to it. I'm building the amount of shares towards my next lot of 100, right? The ideal goal in this one is to be 100% into one stock. That's how I like to do it on the small account. It allows me a little bit more leverage and it allows me a little bit more room to wiggle around the cost basis. You can see we already brought the cost basis down to $35.83. So if we let them go at the 36, we'll have some nice wheel profit there. And as we continue to buy more shares, we will continue to bring the average cost down. Now remember, we have been paid over $1,000 in premium on MSTX. So when you see that I spent $10,000 on my shares, just remember that an extra $1,000 I've made in selling puts trying to enter the stock come into the actual cost basis. It's never going to show it here on Robinhood, but that's why we keep track of everything in Excel. So that's where we're sitting, about $12,000 on the account. We had a massive pullback, but you can see here, this is kind of how it goes, right? You can see at the start of it, cash secure put, all cash secure puts. Then we get assigned shares. They pull back. Then we start selling some calls. We start building the account back up. We get back to cash secure puts. Then we get assigned. Account pulls back on the dip. Then we get back to cash, sell some more cash secure puts. Then we had massive sell-offs, right? And we slowly build back up. We collect rent every single week. We build the balance. We build the balance. We build the balance. Then in November, we're all back to cash. So cash secure puts for multiple months. Just slowly built the account all the way up to 13,000. Massive sell-off. Got to sign some shares. And the process repeats. We rinse, repeat. And now it is time to build. So we've got ourselves some tenants, 100 shares of Mara, 312 shares of MSTX, 100 shares of MSTU, and we are ready to rock and roll. If all 3 of these get called away, we'll book the $50 in share appreciation on Mara. We'll get back to cash on MSTU, and we'd get back to cash on MSTX on the 300 shares, right? Then we'd get back to the wheeling. If it doesn't get called away, then great. Next Monday, we'll go at it again. Remember, I only need roughly $88 a week in income to hit my base case goal. And if you're talking about the base case goal, let's come over here and let's jump into the spreadsheet, right? So small IRA, you can see this entire year, put. We have just been selling puts. Now we are on the call side, right? We were assigned on those 3. And let's see here. Why does it say 4? I'm going to have to double check. I'm going to have to go in here and double check and make sure. MSTX, $210 put. Yeah, I'm going to have to come in here and double check. Oh, that's why. Okay. So this portion right here, this is, yeah, that's what it is. Okay. I'm just going to zero this out. This grabbed one of my other accounts. My apologies there. Okay, so we'll just get that. We'll get that pulled out here, and let's just do in progress. Apologies there. All right, so we got that zeroed out there. I got assigned some other MSTX shares in my main taxable brokerage, and it looks like I accidentally grabbed that line item. So that's all fixed. Anyways, puts. We got assigned the 3 there. We got some premium paid for that, and look at this. So MSTX has paid us $1,166 in order to enter, right? Obviously, we got the call premium, so that's about $200 worth of that, or $195, but it really lowers our costs. Now we're ready to start wheeling and dealing some stocks. For the month, we're at $435 worth of premium. We started the balance at $12,638. We went as high as $13,100. Right now, we're sitting around $12,000. But remember, I'm selling calls above my cost basis or at my cost basis. So if I get called away, I cannot lose. Sure, the stock can continue to move, but the goal is now to get back to cash, right? None of these stocks in a small account, I'm not trying to hold these stocks for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, right? I have medium-term conviction in these stocks, and I'm willing in and I'm willing out with the goal of hitting at least 3% a month in the portfolio. So far we're at 435, which considering the capital that we started with, that's 3.44% on return on my money when it comes to how my cash is working. Graphic wise, right? Last year we had 168 in January. Last month we did 928. Last year in February we did $34 in premium. This year already 435, right? So killing what we did last year. And then in March for last year we did 143. We will see how March goes next month. This is how we're sitting for the month, 435. You can just see slowly but surely we stack it. 40 this week, 115, 85, 195 for this week, and then depending on how Friday looks, if we're in the money, then we'll let all the shares go and we'll get back to cash. If we're not in the money and we're down to 0.01, then we'll roll the calls out if it's a nice green day, and we will rinse and repeat, right? So $435 there. Base case scenario for this month, just as a reminder, 355, still fighting the end of this flu. So $355 is the goal. We've already surpassed that. We're putting $140 worth of fresh capital in, and we are moving our way up the ladder, right? We only need $88 a week. So we are good to go for this month. We should hit our goals, and we are just slowly building. Had a little bit of a hit to our percentage when it comes to hitting 18,140 or 184. We're about 65, almost 66% of the way to the goal. And that's a goal for the end of the year, right? There's going to be fluctuations. It's not just going to go up and the right. The only way it does that is if we have cash secured puts. And you guys have seen that the last couple months. But now we're willing and dealing. And so the account is going to fluctuate with the stocks each and every single day. Some days are going to be good. Some days are going to be bad. You guys have probably seen that in your own portfolios here in the last little bit. Nothing to fret. Now all we are focused on is our cash flow. How much are our properties paying us every single week? If I can continue to collect at least 1% a week, then I'm happy with my investment. Of course, the balance is going to move around. I cannot control the balance. I can control how many shares I have, the cost that I got assigned to it, and lowering my costs every week as I sell covered calls. So that's what we're going to focus on. We already hit our monthly goal, and we're moving towards that annual options income of $5,143. So if you are in the market and you have seen your portfolio pull back over the last week, which probably everybody in this entire market has seen because everything is pulled back, not to panic. Focus on cash flow. Focus on the horses you have in the race and how much are they paying you each and every single week, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever you fancy when it comes to selling covered calls. Collect the rent, lower the cost basis, buy more shares, rinse, repeat, build. That is how I made $175,000 last year selling covered calls and cash secured puts. That's how I'm going to do it again this year. The goal is $120,000 this year. I'm going to get it done. I'm already at over $28,000 so far this year when you include some of my wheel premium as well. So we're just going to continue sticking to what we know. We're going to continue building, and hopefully you guys are finding this content helpful. 75% of the people that watch my videos aren't subscribed. So if you aren't subscribed, throw a little bit of love. Hit the subscribe button. I post 3 videos a week. I show how to trade options on a small account. I show how I'm building a dividend portfolio that's going to pay me $5,000 a month over the next 5 to 10 years. And I show how to trade options on a semi-larger account, right? We're building that account from 130, 140,000 up to 160,000. in real time every single week, and we're doing it by the end of 2025. So appreciate everybody as always. Happy investing. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you have a great week, and we will catch you in the next video on Wednesday when we start building our dividend account even more. Thank you, and we'll catch you next time.